a little scared, neither one prepared, Beauty and the Beast.
Minutes, 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and laughter and strife. In 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
And I see us sitting in a green field, blue skies will speak my mind, and the clouds will compliment your eyes, and your tempered skin in time will be mine. But will you follow me down?
Tobias Taylor Meeks and Rachel Marie Sikora, you have come here today standing before friends, relatives, and God in the beautiful Dallas Children's Theater to pledge your love for one another and to join together in marriage. Who gives this bride to be married?
Her mother and I.
You may be seated.
About 10 minutes before Places is called for most musicals at Richardson High School, I tend to gather the cast, unless other hectic things are happening, in the choir room and try and give them some sort of motivation for the evening. The speech is most often impromptu, although I tend to repeat certain phrases, such as project, enunciate, slow down and enjoy yourself. Try to get the actors into the feel of the show. And so that when the lights rise and they burst onto the stage with energy, they will truly glow. Rarely do I remember what I say from night to night, much less year to year. And so it's funny to me when an actor or actress says, the year after I've made one of these speeches, say that thing you did last year for the freshmen, they'll love it. I'm like, what did I say last year? It was kind of that way when Rachel said that she wanted me to read something from The Scarlet Pimpernel, because I didn't remember exactly what had moved me, even though reading the book did motivate me to love the musical even more. But when she sent me the text, it of course all came rushing back. The Scarlet Pimpernel, which takes place in the 1700s in England and France, is a story about the young Marguerite who is abandoned by her husband on their wedding night, which Toby will not do because Rachel would hunt him down. And we all know this, and so does Toby. But there's so much in love, and she doesn't understand how this betrayal could happen. And so I won't go into all the details, But eventually they end up in France together again, and he explains why all of that had happened. And she is so overcome with emotion and exhaustion at her trip that she can barely walk. He's been beaten by the French troops, and he can barely walk. "But I cannot walk, Percy," she moaned helplessly as, trying to struggle to her tired feet, she found herself unable even to stand. "I will carry you, dear," he said simply. "The blind leading the lame, you know." Sir Andrew was ready, too, to help with the precious burden, but Sir Percy would not entrust his beloved to any arms but his own. "When you and she are both safely on board the Daydream," he said to his young comrade, "then I will rest." And his arms, still vigorous in spite of fatigue and suffering, closed round Marguerite's poor, weary body and lifted her as gently as if she had been a feather. Then, as Sir Andrew discreetly kept out of earshot, there were many things said, or rather whispered, which even the autumn breeze did not catch, for it had gone to rest. All his fatigue was forgotten. His shoulders must have been very sore, for the soldiers had hit hard, but the man's muscles seemed made of steel, and his energy was almost supernatural. It was a weary tramp, half a league along the stony side of cliffs, but never for a moment did his courage give way or his muscles yield to fatigue. On he tramped, with firm footstep, his vigorous arms encircling the precious burden, and, no doubt, as she lay quiet and happy, at times lulled to momentary drowsiness, at others watching, through the slowly gathering morning light, the pleasant face with the lazy, drooping blue eyes, ever cheerful, ever illumined with a good-humored smile, she whispered many things, which helped to shorten the weary road and acted as a soothing balm to his aching sinews. I think I love this passage because of the metaphor. You know, the fact that in times in life we are all weary. Like Buffy the Vampire said at the end of season 5. You know, I had to do something like that. The hardest thing in this world is to live in it. You know, most of us search for years to find someone who can carry us when we're weary. And Toby and Rachel were lucky enough to find that person in high school. It's pretty amazing. I know that with firm steps, their arms encircling each other, that they will whisper many things to each other that will help to shorten the weary road that life can sometimes be. And you know something? I promise you this. If you can carry each other during those times, in the good times, you will dance